Hey everyone, it's Henry at Mowers. Good morning. It's about 10 o'clock and it's actually raining today. We were expecting some rain this week, so good for the lawn. I overseeded. Two birds with one stone, right? As you know from a previous episode where I tore down about 3 or 4 engines just to salvage some parts for the future. While I was doing that, I kind of looked at everything and I was like, you know what? I think I have enough parts to make an engine, you know? As long as it's between the 28 and 31 cubic inch area, I believe it'll all work. This engine, as you know, I got from my friend Larry. And when I took the sump off, it seemed like everything was fine inside. Connecting rod was connected. Synchro balancer was fine. Everything looked fine. I'm a little puzzled as to why he gave it to me, you know? It didn't have a head though, and there was a ton of carbon buildup right on this piston here. So I grinded everything down and cleaned it up. I've got a head from an Intech and push rods that had a blown connecting rod in it. So I'm using the head. The flywheel that came off of this had missing magnets. So I took the flywheel off the Intech. Looks like a Vanguard, but it's probably just an Intech with double shrouds on it. So that's quite confusing. I guess if it doesn't say Vanguard on it, I shouldn't assume it is, even though the shrouds look like a Vanguard. However, I did look at the engine numbers, and if it ends in 777, which that does, I've had a Vanguard before, and it said 777 on the back. So 31R 777, you know, those kind of numbers. If it ended with the 777, every 777 I had the double shroud, so I was thinking it was the Vanguard, but I'm not 100% sure. Whatever the case, that head seems to fit on here. I'm going to put that flywheel on here too. This is an extra stator that I had, or actually this stator is off the Vanguard. I'll just call it the Vanguard, even though it probably isn't. And then I found a Magneto here that fits. As you know, there's a slight difference in width between a Briggs & Stratton stator for a lawnmower, push mower, and a lawn tractor. So the lawnmower kind, while it looks the same, it's not as wide that you need it. Also, the angle of the contacts to the flywheel are slightly out more. Anyway, this looks like it'll fit. It has a little bit of tape on here, probably just to insulate some rats nibbling on the side insulator, but as long as it's wrapped up fine, it's okay, or it should be okay. Well, we'll give it a try because I think it's the only one I have. So I'll put that on. We'll put the head on, put the flywheel on. I have to find a dipstick that fits this reservoir, and we'll go from there. Shout out to Robert Smitta from Fort Plain, New York, who bought 4 DONESKI stickers. Also to my buddy Samuel Sandoval from Sticker, and as well as Joseph Mears. Thank you all very much for buying stickers. It helps support the channel, and every dollar counts by helping me bring videos to you guys every day. Oh, and incidentally, Joseph Mears is from Pocahontas, Arkansas. I didn't even think these cities existed in America. A city named Pocahontas? That's great. I love that stuff. I love those Native American names, you know. Also, big shout out to Grant Woloschuk from Canada, eh? He sent me some Canadian bucks. I really appreciate it. Very generous of you too. And I hope you guys over there up north are enjoying the videos here in New York. And listen, by the way, I love Canada. I really do. I wish they'd open up the border, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't want Americans in Canada right now. But yeah, love Canada. I vacation there every year. So as you guys saw, I put the head on, put the push rods in, put the rocker arms onto the springs and the push rods, found top dead center on the compression stroke, and adjusted the valves, 6 1/1000ths on the exhaust, 4 1/1000ths on the intake. Went to look for a valve cover because I didn't have one, and I went and found one. And found some miscellaneous parts here. Muffler that might fit. I'm having trouble with the dipstick. So the dipstick that's on here has a threaded input. This is for like a flathead where you just stick it in, you know, with a O-ring on there. But this one is a threaded one. You thread it into the engine block, and it has a threaded cap. So this dipstick was missing from the reservoir. So this is the one that is screw in for the flatheads, right? But it's not screw in for here. And also the thread is different. So while it does sort of stick on there, right, it's kind of crooked. I don't have the dipstick for that. So it's gonna have to do. Also, what I noticed was that when I was putting the flywheel on, right, I felt that this bolt was too small for the hole. So I felt that it needed a washer, you know what I'm saying? So I put a washer in there. But then when I went to go look for parts in the bin, right, in my shed, I saw this. This is the identical kind of nut or bolt that goes for this flywheel. And it has the cup, right? It has the cup that attaches to the, you know, this thing, the grass mesh air isolator or whatever. And I figured that would work better. But then this air blower fan looks like the kind with the 4 holes, which is like this one. Guess we'll have to see what it kind of looks like when I put it on, you know what I mean? But this looks like the kind that, you know, you put on top, so I can wait till the end. But I'm thinking, should I put this cup on? You know what I mean? So that the cup acts as a washer. I mean, I actually already have the washer on there, so it should be all right. We'll see what happens. I have a feeling I'm going to take this flywheel back off again. So it needs intake manifold, carburetor, valve cover, starter, muffler, spark plug. You think it's easy putting an engine together? There's a lot of stuff connected to it. And you better have every single part too. So as you guys saw, got the starter in here. Got a Magneto kill wire connected to the Magneto. I ended up using the Intech 17 horsepower overhead valve Vanguard engine double shroud because it fit. And it looks pretty cool. And also it came with the air cleaner cover that fit this only. I don't know if I have another air cleaner cover for the conventional shroud, so sitting right here, I might as well just use it, you know. And it fits very well. Also the grass isolator mesh thingamajig went on top fine too, so it all worked out. Nick from Medford gave me a pipe that would fit this muffler, but it rattles a little, so this one needs repairing. When I'm ready to mount this engine on something, I'll have to do a little bit of welding is all. But I've got a exhaust pipe in there, a spark plug. Put the Magneto on, and it does reach the boot does reach the spark plug. I was worried that it wasn't going to reach because it was kind of short, you know. Magneto wire. Also, I have this extra wiring harness, right, that connects to the stator and the lights, as well as the harness that connects to whatever tractor I decide to mount it to. This does have the gray wire, which reaches all the way around to the bottom there, to the other side of the engine, where this one would connect to a fuel solenoid, which I never liked, you know, so I just take them off and put another bolt on, because I don't like the fuel solenoid. So this wire can go to accessory or something. This loop over here is the ground on the other side of the tin. So you can see I used RTV silicone to make my own gasket, and I've been flipping this left and right, up and down, upside down and all that, and no oil is leaking out of this, so far so good. I mean, this RTV silicone really works well. I've never really had a problem, you know. This is all right here. It took me a while to get the carburetor situation worked out, because I wanted to find the right, the nicest carburetor I could find, and I wasn't sure how many horsepower this engine was. So I'm assuming it's over 15 horsepower, right? So I'm using the one with the bent nozzle, 90-degree bent nozzle backwards. It's a fake Chinese copy Nikki carb, and it has a bolt under here instead of the solenoid, like I just said. And I hope it doesn't surge, you know what I'm saying? But usually the one with the 90-degree bent backwards fuel input has a hole that's drilled a little bit bigger than the one that goes straight out, so it shouldn't surge. Air filter cover I told you about, and the base. I don't have an air filter for it, but I'll put like a piece of foam in there or something like that if this is ready to be mounted, or I'll find one. I was looking for a gasket between here and here. It's very important, so I wanted to find the exact right gasket. It took an entire box of gaskets that I saved apart just to look for it, and I did find one. I wanted to make sure that this was a good O-ring too, so I have a kit that comes with that nice orange O-ring, and I replaced it, and I put it on. It was hard finding the bolts for this stuff too, you know. I had to look around to get the bolts to fit everything that I had here, included with the valve cover too. So did a lot today. I rebuilt this engine from parts, and I've got pretty much everything here, you know what I mean? So now it's just a matter of wondering why Larry gave it to me. Larry, if you're watching, let me know why you gave it to me again, because I didn't really find anything wrong with it, unless you had head problems, right? If you had head problems, let me know what it was. But I'll tell you what, though, it's kind of easy to turn. So maybe this one has no compression, you know? But I looked at the cylinder walls. They looked all right. You know, maybe it's the rings or something like that, but I don't know. I mean, it's got compression, but it's kind of easy to turn, you know? But we'll find that out another time when I am ready to mount this engine. I am worried about the dipstick itself. While it does screw in, it's not. This is not supposed to be for this reservoir, you know. But you know, just put plastic bag over it, but then it won't vent. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it'll probably turn up sometime. I'll find another dipstick or something. But like I said, this reservoir, it's a screw into this thing. Has like 2 or 3 plastic threads, and you screw the entire reservoir in here. then you have a screw-in dipstick. This dipstick is from another kind, a flathead kind. See, you could screw it onto here, but here is very narrow and it won't fit this hole. And this hole is threaded, like I said. See what I'm saying? So this one's not designed to screw in. This one's just, you pop it in with an O-ring on there and it stays there. And you secure it to the thing like that. But, so this dipstick in here won't fit that. But see, you turn it a little bit and it'll come off. So it's not really a tight seal for this, so that's not really good. Compression and all, you know what I mean? Anyway, so put together this engine today with parts, and maybe one day we can try it, you know what I mean? But for now, it's just another spare engine, which is great because I have an abundance of engines now. Thanks a lot for joining me on today's episode. We'll see you fellas next time on Mowers and Blowers. Hey guys, Boba and I want to thank you for all the support of Mowers and Blowers. If you'd like, make a short video clip like these, and I'll put it as an outro in my future videos.
Because the UPS guy screwed this up. I'm going to see you next time on Mowers and Blowers.
See you next time on Mowers and Blowers.
Hey guys, John over here at Turning Wrenches, and we'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
This is Jungle Bob in Birmingham, Alabama, and we'll see you next time on Mowers and Blowers.
Hey, I'm Andy from Jericho.
See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.